Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to our live coverage of the 9th AESIR 1v1 here in League of Legends. Rules are the same as the last couple, all champions, 3 bands apiece. Best of 3 up until the semifinals and finals, which will be a best of 5. Actually, let me double check that. Excuse me. Best of 3 all the way until the finals, which are a best of 5. Semifinals will still be a best of 3. We are already getting underway, so let's get a bracket up on everyone's screens here. There we go. Now, we've had a lot of last-minute signups here, so bear with me. I've tried to get our graphics and such set up to ensure that everything is ready to go. As far as I am seeing, I don't see any games underway just yet, so I will get you the news as I receive it, but in the meantime, definitely should be interesting. Obviously, the Skarner rework is out, so that is a potential pick, particularly because Skarner's win rate, well, if his win rate tells us anything, he's a little insane right now. In fact, let's just take a peek at that. Well, not as high as I remember, but basically 52% in every single role is pretty insane, including Skarner AD Carry with a whopping 121 matches with a 53% win rate. So that's a thing. So I'm definitely curious if that's something that we will see. Obviously, 1v1s are a whole different animal. We've seen a lot of different champions work, but generally, I think we've tended to go the way of the more ranged champions, AD carries, mages, but we've kind of seen everything work, from assassins to bruisers to even tanks, or building AD carries like tanks, so it's been a lot of fun. Oh, Wolfold, you can hop in here right now if you want to. We can potentially have the TriCast, for this is like the ultimate MSI, so feel free. Oh, I think I need to give you permissions, actually, or you won't even be able to. I can't even find the permission. It's got to be in here somewhere. Why do I not see it? Is it just tournament staff? Oh, wait, Ulf, can you talk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, fantastic. Well, welcome to the casting booth. I've got some messages from Foldmather here, so let's see. Okay. I'm not seeing any games. Oh, wait, here we go. Nope. This is still... Everyone's in-game in the practice tool, preparing for the upcoming tournament. I do see Fomocry and Xander's and Crossblade in Champion Select, so I think that's what we'll do. Okay. So let's see. We have the bracket up for everybody, right? Where is that? Okay, I think this is Steiner versus Crossblade, I believe. But we have 2.5 minutes to wait. Well, Ulf, hello. Anything you want to say about the tournament? Anything? Do you think we'll see a Skarner?
Oh, you could definitely see potentially a Skarner, though. The thing is with the 1v1s, in some research I did prior to my 1v1s, it's definitely typically ranged favored, especially Caitlyn with her long range advantage. You can even go fairly safe going something like Grasp and other stuff and just poke out / farm out your opponents. We have seen some differences in the past tournaments, so we'll see, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's interesting. It doesn't necessarily feel like I was saying before, like there's a certain, like you have to go AD carry. Like I'm remembering, were you in that 1v1? I don't even know if this was 6 years ago or something, where it just became just Caitlyn, Caitlyn, Caitlyn every single time. But I think we've still seen a fair bit of Caitlyn, but it feels like you can kind of do anything. And we've seen like a bunch of Fizz or people just picking like whatever champions they like to play and it working or almost working. I'm remembering Starvold's Jarvan a lot. So, yeah, I think it's kind of not difficult to know what to expect. Oh, I do know Steiner, not that this gives you a lot of information, but he mentioned that he was cooking something up specifically for this one versus
Yikes.
one. Yeah, yikes indeed. I have no idea what that could be. I don't know if it's going to be good.
So how does this? Am I supposed to be watching like a stream in Discord because the
Yeah.
stream's going to be delayed?
Yeah. So I'll throw up a Discord stream for you once we're in game, because if I throw it up now, it generally just crashes when we switch from the client to in game. So once we're actually in game, I'll do that. Oh, that reminds me though, I should set up. Let's see here. Team name, player names up, assuming I have the sides right, which I probably don't. Okay, Steiner versus X Crossblade. What's your prediction? Best of 3.
It depends. Sometimes when Steiner cooks, he cooks, but uh, sometimes he cooks a little bit too much and leaves it on the stove for too long, and it comes out burnt.
Yep, definitely. The potential for him to burn the house down is absolutely there. Here we go. The extra long loading screen. Okay, for some reason when he said he was cooking, I don't know why, but my mind vaguely did go to Ivern, and that's exactly what we have here.
That's some cooking.
It's something. All right. There we go. Hoping here we will not have any kind of technical difficulties with different streams. Crossblade 2. Okay. For a second, I thought Full Metal was actually spoiling it in
I
the
know.
chat.
I was like, geez, that was quick.
Okay. Kled versus Ivern. I think I have to, just based on this, I know we could see anything in Game 2 onwards, but I think I might have to predict Crossblade.
I don't see the ghost barrier Ivern beating the Kled.
I think I've seen this in the co-op game, probably. Somebody's Ghost Barrier, Phase Rush, Ivern.
There was that one 1v1 that we were doing, and I picked Ivern and forgot items against the Tryndamere, if you remember that.
I do remember that, yes. I think that was closer than we thought, though.
Yeah, I won it somehow.
Yeah.
And that was on Howling Abyss. You couldn't go back and buy items.
Oh, I didn't even remember that. Wow, yeah. Did he, like, tower dive you and die? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think I went lethal tempo, too. Silly.
That's one of those things where if I was the Tryndamere, I would almost think you were just purposefully messing with him. Like, just trolling him because you're so sure you're going to win. Just go lethal tempo.
I'm not going to lie. If I remember right, I was up a game, and I was like, you know what? Let's cook.
So the Bush start from Steiner.
He has missed both CS so far. So he's not going for a CS victory.
He's just lulling him into a false sense of security here.
I just don't see how Ivern could win this with, I mean, even at 6, Kled just has so much staying on power, and between Skarl and Kled, this health bar is just insane.
Yeah, I don't know what he's hoping to do. I mean, with the phase rush, I guess he can just run out, but any kind of all-in fight, Conqueror Kled is just gonna win. I don't know. Maybe he can poke a little bit? I can't say I've ever seen an Ivern really be a major poke threat, but perhaps Steiner...
I mean, his autos from the bushes do some decent damage, but...
We got to be careful, because if Steiner does lose, he will come to the caster booth, and he will have listened to the entire VOD, and he will flame anyone who flamed his build, so... He is 10-9 CS right now, and up a level.
I mean, he is staying in the minions, which is good, because he does have a big push right now, so that minion damage does add up.
This is the root call. That's going to be a lot of damage. The Ignite is down. Potentially the Flash is there. Nope. But I feel like at this point, if you're Steiner, you pretty much just have to recall. I mean, yeah, you got Barrier. He's probably going to have to use now. He's going to... Okay. He uses the Barrier. Doesn't even get the Ghost. And that is something we maybe expected. I like the cooking, but it is Crossblade's Kled that comes out on top.
Maybe time to go reference a recipe book for the next match.
I think potentially, yes. Gordon Ramsay would disapprove. Or I don't know, maybe he approves of experimentation even if it doesn't work out, but it doesn't really sound like Gordon Ramsay to me.
I don't know. From the shows I've watched with Gordon Ramsay, he's typically not too huge on experimentation.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, I think we'll just stick with that series. So we probably got a couple minutes here. I see they were already in Champion Select. Expectations for adaptations from either player after an interesting game one.
Well, I mean, typically from my experience with Steiner, he's probably going, "Oh, I guess I gotta be a meta slave now and pick a real champion,"
I don't
or
know.
he's just gonna play for fun. We'll see.
Yeah, my thought was he will just pick Ivern again. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, if you want lose, I guess.
he wants to cast. This is the speed run.
Oh, I saw the champion there for a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you hovered over him, it said what he was playing.
Oh, that's a good. I didn't even think about that.
Uh,
Do you want to spoil it?
it's his highest mastery champion. I'll say that much.
Oh, I see. Katarina.
No, Skarner.
Ah. The new broken Skarner rework. Should check to see. I assume the bans are in chat here. What did they ban? So the bans were Caitlyn was banned. Caitlyn, Tom, and Tryndamere from Steiner. Fiora, Aatrox, Gragas from Crossblade. Kind of interesting if you look at all the different bans for all the matches. Exact, or rather completely different. Completely different. Poppy versus Kled. Is that what we're seeing?
I see Starvald's Jarvan's getting banned now too.
He did.
And yes,
I'm trying to remember. I don't know that he won with the Jarvan, but he either won or he was like 2 HP from winning. I want to say against Fomacry and one or two others. Like, it's definitely dangerous.
and yeah, Poppy versus Kled. I feel like is actually Poppy favored just because she can just completely invalidate Kled's dash.
Yeah. I guess he can just kind of walk in and go for the pull and just sort of wait out the steadfast and just then jump in, but I don't know. I mean, the movement speed means Poppy, she can probably just outrun the I'm trying to remember. It's not Yordle Snaptrap because that's Caitlyn. Whatever Kled's something on a rope. Trap on a rope? I don't know.
Bear trap on a rope.
Bear trap on a rope. There we go. Okay. Well, here we go. We are loading into the Rift for game number 2. X Crossblade already up 1-0 over Steiner. This is match point. If Steiner wants to take it to game 3, he's going to have to win. And he's chosen his trademark Poppy with 1.5 million mastery points. Went for the Grasp, Flash Ignite, rather than the Barrier Ghost Ivern. He's decided to go back to be a recipe he's more familiar with.
Now, the true Chad move is if he wins this, does he go back to the Barrier Ghost Ivern expecting Crossblade to change up champions?
I would respect it, but I don't know that it's a good idea. I think I know it's a terrible idea, actually. One other update from the bracket. Cheese Owl, who I believe is also known as Crystal Skarn, is 1-0 over Seduce in another matchup in round 1, but no other results are in on Battlefy just yet.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Okay, well, seemingly Discord did not mind the transition from client to in-game, so good sign.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know that from experience.
Corrupting Pot start. Interesting. Teleport difference could be big, though. I mean, no flash from Crossblade, but I feel like teleport can be pretty handy. Just the opportunity to have a free reset.
It definitely can be, especially depending on when you do it. getting a free cheater recall with a teleport can be real beneficial.
There's no cheating allowed in this tournament.
What about Grasp, though? I feel like there might have been a better option just for the 1v1 scenario, because Grasp is typically something that I find is best for like pushing for a late game advantage, but
Yeah, I mean, it'll give you a little bit of HP, but you have to wonder how much of a difference it's actually going to make in a 1v1 that could potentially only go a couple of minutes. I mean, at best, maybe you're talking about a few grasp procs versus something like, I mean, even a fleet footwork, you probably would get more mileage out of, but I wonder if, I don't know, electrocute, phase rush, I mean, I suppose Conqueror, I don't know, I don't really play Poppy at all. I did play against a phase rush Poppy, and it was pretty annoying how she would just stun you and then sprint away with 800 movement speed. But Steiner is hard losing this all in right now. He's gonna get that grasp, but now he may have gone too far. Give me the flash, Ignite is down. No flash from Crossblade means he can't follow. So Steiner does get the
has
recall.
to back though, because of Scarl especially.
Yeah.
So he's gonna miss so much experience here.
Going to be huge, and Crossblade still has the teleport, which Steiner does not.
Shouldn't even have to use it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. He's just walking back.
Doesn't even get to buy anything. Doesn't even have enough for one of those horrible lucid motes for 5 ability haste for 250
What do you
gold.
mean? You gotta keep that cooldown down by like a half a second.
You gotta
maybe,
keep,
if that.
You gotta keep Boris in business is what you're doing with that. $16-9, the CS score. Crossblade with a refillable pot and a long sword added to his inventory. Steiner with no flash, but no ignite for Crossblade either. I don't know about Poppy in a 1v1 just because it feels like, you know, there's not really a lot of opportunities for any kind of wall stun because there's nobody to help you or set it up. The other person can just concentrate entirely on that angle and make sure they don't provide it. Maybe, yeah, maybe
Especially with top lane being so expanded now as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's kind of like the Alawi tentacle thing where it definitely makes it tougher. Oh, he's got biscuits. He does have some cookies, at least. Something.
He's cookieing.
Yeah. Well, 18-21. Crossblade kind of taking it easy, but still with a... oh, turret shot there. But
That's a huge wave that he gets to get, though. It looks like Steiner's going to try
he's going to proxy.
proxying.
Okay.
It's
right.
not that bad of an idea right now, considering where the wave is, but with the fact that you can't walk into the jungle, or at least you're not supposed to.
Yeah, he's kind of skirting the rules a little bit here.
He's got to...
I guess that we'll give him a pass. I mean, that's up to our judges, but... and out he goes.
He didn't really walk through it, so I think that's kind of fine. But
Yeah.
he's playing with fire now.
He's listening to the cast. He's just trying to mess with us here right now. He has no flash, though. He could just be... Okay. Crossblade has Ignite really soon. I don't know what the Bear Trap on the rope cooldown is, but he could just be dead here. The Ignite's going to come up, and he's going to be able to... Doesn't even need it. Does not even need it. Crossblade 2-0 moves on to round number 2. And we could quite possibly... Actually, okay, let's see. You can hear me on the stream, but I think Discord is frozen. There we go, okay. Could quite possibly see a Steiner in the caster's booth pretty soon. Steiner, if you're listening, totally up to you. I'm happy to try cast or a duo cast. But that is going to be it for that game. Let's double check what we got here. I see Ben-Hur, aka I Don't Play Ari, is in a game. Let's see if we can't jump right into that one, if the client will actually permit me to. I've had some interesting times with that. Okay, 2 minutes, 45 seconds away from the spectator delay on that. That gives me time to check over our bracket. Let's see where we're at. Well, I got to refresh my browser version as well. So Starvold versus Ben-Hur, another WA, all WA in-house matchup here. Starvold already up 1-0. One more win will take him to round 2, where he would play against X Crossblade. Can double check on the bans for that one. So the bans were Shaco, Ezreal, and Jarvan from Ben-Hur, and Nico, Hui, and Lux by Starvold. So interestingly, did not ban the Ahri, did not ban, I mean, I've seen one or two others from, I mean, I think most mid laners I've seen him play. But hello,
to be
Steiner.
fair, he doesn't play Ari, so.
True. Why ban it? No, pointless. Welcome, Steiner. Our commiserations on the round 1 loss, but welcome to the casting booth lounge.
Yeah.
Any reactions?
Speed ran here.
Speed ran it.
Well, I haven't played a solo lane and I don't fucking know how long, so it showed very obviously in my bronze gameplay. Obviously, a very good gameplay from Colonel Xanders, but I could not.
That's
even
not who you
compete.
played against.
Was it Crossblades?
I'm sure Colonel
very
Xanders
similar.
has some good gameplay as well, but
I feel like there might have been a little bit too much cooking in the kitchen in that game 1.
No, that was good. Trust me.
Yeah.
That was pilot error. Trust me.
okay. I was gonna ask what was the reason there. I mean, was that could have gone better? It was just a misplay, or
I used to be really good at Ivern top. That's it.
Well, we're gonna be watching Ben-Hur versus Starvold. Any predictions for this game?
APJ4?
Jarvan was actually banned.
Looking at what they're playing, I'm seeing we got Ben-Hur on Talia and Starvold on Riven.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever seen Starvold play Riven.
I have actually. He really likes the Riven. I've seen him bring it out quite a few times. I have seen him pop off on it. But I would hate to play it in Talia. I would hate that.
Feel like, yeah, especially in the Talia, there's quite a few dashes on that Riven's end of things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could flash, or if Talia burns her E already, then you have an opportunity. But it's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. And but to be fair, I'm terrible at Riven, so I don't know that I'm the best judge. But I would definitely not like playing that matchup.
You kind of wonder if game 1 Starvold had picked Riven into something else, and Talia's kind of a counterpick now since they had same bans.
Possible. It would be cool if Battlefy had like the actual champion select information or something like that.
I don't think they can because the game doesn't finish.
Oh, makes sense.
Well, I can look into match history and we can see Starvold play Draven into I Don't Play Art Ben-Hur's out.
Really? So we just got to completely swap up here.
A lot of poke damage, but basically no mana left for Ben-Hur. I kind of want to check the masteries here just for the... Does it have mana flow banned, but that's it? I don't know. Anytime I'm playing a mage, I really like having both presence of mind and mana flow. Just for how much that can sustain your mana or something else. Like, I always like just to have two options for... Oh, very...
Oh,
nearly
so
stuff.
close.
2 options for that anyway. Teleport available, and he's going to burn it. Oh, and apologies, stream. You've been staring at the bracket instead of our in-game, but fortunately we haven't had any deaths just yet, but now you can actually watch the game.
Never good to run from your problems.
So the Draven triumphed against the Akali in game 1. Starvold going in, a lot of damage there. There finally is the Unraveled Earth, and with the Electrocute, a lot of damage back. Doran's shield should help a little bit in the recovery department, but Flash Ignite still available. I think that's the tricky thing about Riven is once you get into that lethal window, a lot of times it feels like it does not matter how low the Riven is as long as you die first.
Right.
And the teleport really does put the other person on the back foot, especially with the fact that Ben-Hur can just shove in if Starvold backs, and then you miss just a huge part of a wave. If he wanted to back and heal, he should have done it right as the Canyon wave was coming.
Yep. I think a lot of people, myself included, did not really think about the wave management as much as we probably should. It can make a massive difference. I mean, I'm still living back in Season 6 when knowing how to manage a wave would put you at a huge advantage, and now it feels like I'm the only one that doesn't know. Or at least doesn't think about it very often. Ooh, I thought for a
They're
second...
taking a free tower shot.
Ooh. No seismic shove. Yeah, I mean, again, just burning a lot of mana. I mean, really, that's...
Starvold has a window here where he can go in.
Yeah. Has a flash, has the ignite, not a lot of mana on the Talia. Okay. No Unraveled Earth. This is definitely a window right now.
I think Ben-Hur's just gonna back off.
Yeah. Surprised. I mean, he backed and teleported back in with nothing.
Starvold can fast shove this wave in so it crashes and then back.
Goes for the tier. I kind of like that just because if he can just get the poke in, and if he has enough mana to just burn that for fun. I mean, yeah, it's not optimal because you're never going to fully stack the thing or build it into Seraphs unless this winds up being a 30-minute 1v1, but...
I don't know. The reality is you buy a tier, mana ceases to be an issue on 90% of champions.
I sometimes find a way, even so, but yeah. I think if you had the presence of mind or the biscuits in combination with the mana blow, or just any two of those three, along with the tier and Doran's ring, then it would be just physically impossible to run out. But to be sure, still a lot. Okay. Interesting. Weaver's Wall comes out. Okay, it makes the minions break the rules of the tournament. Seismic Shove does not connect. Now Starvold with the ultimate could look like he hesitated for a second there. I thought he was going to go for the all-in.
We're going to have to DQ those two melees.
Yes.
One of them's just got DQ'd.
Here we go. This could be it. Starvold has the ignite. Seismic Shove, though. Nicely done. Finally lands that one. Does Ben-Hur and gets the Riven out of his face, so that repels it for now. Oh no! The flash, the stun, the flashback, the Unraveled Earth stops him. Gotta be careful though. He walked back in the ignite, and that finishes it off. Starvold with a 2-0 victory over Ben-Hur. I thought it was well played. I thought it was well played for a minute there. Oh, and my Discord is frozen again. Gotta love this. You can hear me stream, but okay, hello. Welcome back from the 8-second post-game Discord freeze. Lovely feature. Unfortunately for Ben-Hur, but fortunately for Starvold, that is going to do it for their round 1 series. Let's get the bracket back up on your screens for an update here and see where we stand. So, a lot of 2-0s. So, Cheezow, aka Crystal Skarn, I do believe, 2-0 over Seduce is waiting in the semifinals, whereas Starvold and X Crossblade will play each other. I believe they should be waiting for us to hop in, so that means Colonel Xanders versus Fomacry, 1-1 actually.
Still
so
going, we can watch it.
Yeah, we'll try to hop into that one and see where things go. For some reason, it seems to be giving us a spectator delay, even though the game...
5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Urgot versus Varus, with Colonel Xanders and Urgot and Fomacry and Varus.
Okay. Interesting. Well, this should be exciting. I mean, Colonel Xanders has been a pretty strong performer in the tournaments we've seen him in. And Fomacry, of course, needs no introduction. 4- or 5-time champion. I completely have lost count at this point. Trophy cabinet overflowing, but Xanders has already taken a game off of him which is impressive. And the fact that this is a Game 3 match point between the two is pretty exciting. I'm pretty eager to see how this one turns out.
Looking at the match history, the first match was Darius versus Darius. I don't know who killed who first, though, because they're both 1 kill, 1 death. And the second match, load here, was Skarner versus Varus. And it must have been Varus the win because he got the 1-0. So Colonel Xanders must have won the Darius versus Darius mirror.
Okay. I have to wonder if something like that, if they didn't pre-arrange it. It does sound like, unfortunately, Starvold and Crossblade are going ahead with their semifinals matchup, so we will not get a chance to see that first game, at least, but we'll jump in as soon as we can. But this is a pretty exciting one here. I mean, like I said, we have returning champion Fomacry, once again, who has been not perfect, but close. But we've seen, I mean, Ulf, you've played a lot of games against him. I mean, what do you think is the best strategy against Fomacry? It seems like he plays quite a few different champions.
It's rough because he's definitely very good at spacing and pushing that early advantage. What you'll notice a lot with his play is he'll try to push for that early level 2 with some early poke on you as well. And it can just set you so far behind right at the start. So you really either have to fight him for it, or you have to let him get the push and basically hug your tower at the start.
Well, we will see what exactly Xanders is cooking here with the Pajama Guardian cosplay Urgot. Here we go. And let me try to make sure that I actually give people on the stream actual vision of what's happening here. Doran's Shield Urgot versus Doran's Blade Varus, and Fomacry's Varus has a pretty hefty CS advantage right now. 28-15. One-to-one, Game 3, deciding who will move on to the semifinals to face Chizao, a.k.a. Crystal Skarn, who I am seeing from some chat apparently has some cringe pics. So, it should be interesting. I think it's cool to hear the Skarner did come out from did you say that was Fomacry or Xanders that piloted the Skarner?
It was Xanders.
Okay.
Fomacry is on his second Varus game in a row.
Well, Xanders has to have expected that then. I'm curious about the Urgot. I mean, there's definitely the all-in potential, but you mentioned Fomacry being so good at spacing. It feels like this kind of matchup really favors him.
Yeah. And you can see that he's expecting this back from Colonel Xanders right now, so he's backing as well at the same time. While the minions are in a good spot for him, they're going to be pushed up right to his tower pretty much, which is going to force Colonel Xanders back.
Yeah, you can see that whole wave marching forward.
Colonel Xanders is missing out on so much XP right now, which Fomacry is just be able to catch and get that early 6 advantage.
I like that we can see on the mini-map when Xanders uses the, I think it's Disdain, to just leap forward, because you can see his portrait just stop for a second and then jump forward like 5 feet. Spotted out on the ward, so no surprises here from Xanders. And 23 CS advantage, and again Fomacry, who has not been shy about building defensive items, Freak would be proud, right? Went for the plated steel caps, along with the refillable pot.
Yeah, and you can see him holding the wave there. It's just, Colonel Xanders is just in such a rough spot right now.
Doesn't even have the flash on the Urgot. I mean, I don't know if that's what you'd want, but at least that would be something where you could get on top of the Varus, which feels like the only way he's going to find any way out of this game. And on cue, we have a nice spammer in the chat. Welcome.
Very nice. I don't. Flash E on Urgot is like. It is a crazy huge tool in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or E Flash, I mean. Not Flash. Well, same thing, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, in general, I do feel like Exhaust is such a powerful spell, but when you wind up in a situation like this, where you're, I mean, okay, I'm not going to call Urgot a melee champ, but you're definitely at a range disadvantage here. Yeah. You know, so, and you don't have the flash, it feels pretty bad. I'm all, you could just look at that, that's got to feel terrible. Here comes the Exhaust for Xander's looking for the disdain, not going to find it. This could be the all-in Foma Cry, needs a little more damage. The piercing arrow finishes it off, and the 5-time or more champion Foma Cry 2-1 triumphs again and heads to the semifinals.
Yeah, I think he kind of knew it was over at that point. He dropped that GG a little early.
The old stand still and start dancing while you're still alive. It's always a good trick. All right, let's see where we're at. X-Crossblade still in game. We'll see if we can't get that one non-stop back-to-back action here, which is fine with me. We'll see if we can't get into that game.
Darvold on his patented Ash in the Crossblades Kled again.
Okay.
We're back.
Ash versus Kled. Well, if Starvold has these spacing abilities of Foma Cry, perhaps he can do something with that. But I do fear the all-in potential from the Kled can be... Well, Steiner, you can speak to it. I think it can be a little nasty.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being able to use the 4-hit passive thing to its full potential provides like way more burst than most people would think.
Yeah. Well, I think... Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing we can do. Let's check out the bans on this game as well. Actually, I don't see the... Oh, here we go. Ban, Starvold versus X-Crossblade. Lucian, Cassio, Callista, Camille, spelled as Camille, but Camille, Misfortune, and Singe. Does that count if you misspell the champion's name? Does that still count as a ban?
No. No, you can legally pick Kamal.
You gotta wait until they release the new champion, Camille's cousin, in order for that ban to actually count as anything. Well, a lot of 80 carries banned away. I assume this is kind of the back and forth order, so this kind of looks like Starvold banned Lucian, Callista, Misfortune. If I'm not mistaken, he could have messed up the order or some such, but no Lucian, no Callista, no Misfortune, but Caitlyn available. Despite 2 other C champion bans, no Cassio. I do feel like Cassio should be pretty nice in these kind of settings, because any kind of movement champion is just ruined. Cassio's ability to just all in on those extended fights is just crazy. And just, like, you can actually kite. I feel like I don't have the APM to play Cassio. Like, you got the autos and the E's, and the cooldown on it gets so low that it's just... I mean, I think that's a one-way ticket to carpal tunnel syndrome, is playing a lot of Cassiopeia, but gotta do what you gotta do to win.
Usually the only champions that naturally win against Cassio outrange her, so you wouldn't really want to be playing something that would need to get into her range.
Caitlyn, potentially?
Caitlyn, Ashe, maybe even?
Yeah. Well, Ashe versus Kled, as we mentioned earlier, is going to match up here between Starvold and X-Crossblade. And we're jumping in 5 minutes in here, but both players still alive. A lot of summoners burned, Barrier and Ghost burned by Starvold. So he took something from your recipe here. No flash, went for the Ghost Barrier.
Yep. Hopefully he uses his barrier a lot better than I did.
Goes for the Vamp Scepter as well, so wants to make sure he can sustain through this, but is down some CS, and the long walk back up to top lane should leave him 10-15 CS down, unfortunately. And Crossblade has a teleport to use any time he does want to make that recall happen.
This is another case where, looking at the wave state, honestly, Crossblade should have backed at the same time as Starvold, considering the wave was pushed into him, and he could have just teleported back and caught it right there.
Well, you could be waiting on an item break point.
It's kind of a rough spot for Starvold now, because Ashe, I mean, you get the advantage through level 6, but even with her ultimate, Skarner can just get on her, and it's just such a reduced stun duration with it being so close.
I assume you mean Kled can get on it.
Yeah. Did I say Skarner?
Yeah.
Not to mention, if Kled is mounted and you press R and unmount him, he gets a free cleanse.
Level 6 for both players now. But yes, I definitely would hard favor the Kled in the all-in here. But, well, not exactly right now with the health disadvantage. Although very close to a remount, as you mentioned, Steiner. Which can be so deceptive. I mean, we've all played against the Kled, where it feels like you're 2v1, 3v1 against the Kled, you're about to kill him, and then he gets to remount at the last second. I mean, it's really the same as some of these champions like Aatrox and Sylas, where they can just lifesteal such a ridiculous amount, or Kayn, Red Kayn, that it can be hard to know when you actually have that lethal. Bear Trap and a Rope is going to pull Starvold back, doesn't have the Ghost, but has the barrier, and now looking to chase down the Kled, who still only has the Doran's shield. And Skarl goes running. I see why you said Skarner now. Yeah, Skarl, Skarner, maybe they're related. Okay,
Really good.
Ignite down under Star.
Crossblade going in without Skarl.
Oh no, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow! There it goes! He still has to teleport, he still hasn't backed, he has no items, but he looks for the all-in twice. Starvold, 1-0.
Interesting.
A summoner has disconnected.
I mean, I was gonna say it was like really good for Starvold to stand his ground at that first skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, when he can do the kiting with the slowing and Ashe, I mean, yeah. I wonder if maybe Crossblade wasn't thinking about the Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming through and stunning him and thought he could just kind of trade a bit and get out. That's interesting. Well, we're going to be a few minutes away from game number 2 in the semifinal series, but that is Starvold up 1-0. One more win sends Starvold to the finals of the AESIR 1v1, the 9th edition.
Does appear Ashe was banned the second round now.
Okay.
Kled is still up, though.
Nobody's scared of Kled except for me. I'm quaking.
I have some nightmares of getting him within, like, 100 HP of dying, and then just, remount, you're dead.
It's been known to happen. Well, the bracket is up on your screens, but it doesn't really tell us anything we don't already know. Starvold versus X-Crossblade here in semifinal matchup number 1. And I believe, though no promises, that Cheese, Ow, and Fomacry will wait on us to be able to see the other semifinals matchup. If not, I will let you know. Yes, the bans coming through. Even more AD carries now. Ashe, Lucian, Vayne, Callista, Misfortune, and Cassiopeia once again. So a lot of AD carry bans coming through, but still Caitlyn available. I mean, I feel like Caitlyn's been such a staple of 1v1s. I mean, it's like the traditional AESIR 1v1 champion almost at this point, that I really would not be surprised to see it come out. But for some spoiler, I am seeing Crossblade on the Dr. Mundo versus Starvold's Renekton. So don't listen to me. All the AD carry bans and these players say we're going to an old-fashioned top lane smackdown. Mundo versus Renekton.
That is quite the matchup. I think that's pretty Renekton favored even.
I would think. I mean, especially early on. Well, I'm not going to speculate because I really know absolutely nothing about Dr. Mundo. I've played a fair bit of Renekton, and I do feel like he does tend to win those. I mean, he can just hide in the wave, and there's just zero danger from the cleavers from Dr. Mundo. Is it still called a cleaver post rework?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Kind of depends on, because the TPA Mundo is throwing the trophies, you know. Businessman Mundo, that's not the name. What is the name of the skin where he's throwing the briefcase? Moneybags Mundo.
Corporate Mundo.
Corporate Mundo. American Psycho Mundo.
Why isn't it possible?
And actually, no, it is not Cleaver. It is Infected Bonesaw.
Oh, Bonesaw. Okay.
Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah.
I'll say the next part of
Yeah,
that line.
let's leave it at that.
Something, brother.
Yeah. 1 minute remaining before seeing game number 2 here between Starvold and X Crossblade. I'm eager to see this. I mean, completely different from last time. I guess, I mean, Crossblade's some really piloting top lane champions pretty much every game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, has he just played Kled every single game?
Yeah, he's played
yeah.
that everyone so far.
Yeah, I guess we've seen them all. Okay. Well, no Kled ban, but he decided to switch it up to the Dr. Mundo.
It'll be refreshing to see some top laners, bruisers, bump uglies, I think.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, well, we didn't get to see it. There was the Darius mirror matchup between Fomacry and Xanders, which, again, I'm curious. I mean, is that something that they arranged beforehand? It just seems, I guess Darius is pretty strong in the 1v1s.
Definitely possible to just be coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, I believe me and Fomacry actually matched up Darius versus Darius once as well.
Just by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, it happens. Well, no Darius this time, but as you guys mentioned, 2 other top laners. Should be fun to see. I mean, I like seeing it when the range matches from both champions. So you don't necessarily have this extra kiting thing. It really just comes down to, I guess, mechanics. I have to say, I don't feel like Renekton and Mundo are necessarily the most mechanical champions, especially Mundo, but maybe Orevald would disagree on the Mundo. I don't know.
Interestingly enough, I would say Mundo's more mechanically intensive than Renekton, because you have to move Mundo to line up your minion shove thing.
Okay.
But Renekton, it's all point and click dash.
Yeah, that's fair. I think one of the interesting things to play around with the Mundo passive, because the Ruthless Predator will not stun him in that case. And Renekton not being able to do that, where he just slices and dices in, or I suppose slices in, Ruthless Predator, full combo on the stun target, and then dices his way right back out. Not going to be an option with that Mundo passive, so it definitely alters the trading pattern a bit. And press the attack is what we're seeing from Starvold into Fleet Footwork from Crossblade's Mundo.
I feel like using Cole the Meek more for his rage usage is probably going to be the best option.
Yeah.
Especially because, like,
I love all his
actually
ability
going
names.
to kill Mundo?
Sorry, go ahead, Stan.
I was just saying, like, is he actually going to kill Mundo? Like, how does that angle even appear?
Yeah, I think unable to download spectator data, the game will now exit. Wonderful. Thank you, League of Legends. We'll give this another go.
Sounds like
hopefully.
a mod bug.
A what bug?
The mod you're using to spectate?
The mod?
The thing you're using to zoom out.
It's not a mod. That's in the spectate.
What? Since when?
Anybody can do it.
Really?
Yep. Control-Shift-Z and scroll wheel on the mouse. Okay, well, apologies to viewers, but okay, let's try this again. Come on, League of Legends client. Starvold versus X Crossblade, game number 2. Provided the client cooperates. Here we go. All right. Excellent.
Let me throw up the Discord again.
Oh, yes. Well, 3 minutes in, 15 to 14 in the CS department. Looks like a fairly typical top lane here. Nothing to see here.
Interesting. Crossblade went both the Avarice as well as the Minion Dematerializer. If he's going for more of a CS focused.
Guy is ready to open up his alchemy shop here. He's got every single item in the game.
Mundo is known for taking random substances.
That's true. He's really RPing quite well.
Also, looks like he has fleet footwork for his main runes, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be working okay so far. He's got a little bit of an HP advantage. And up a couple of minions, too.
Unfortunately, in a matchup like this, you know, you don't have to worry about one person just getting mana starved because they're both manaless champions.
Yes. I will say the one nice thing about Renekton in top lane, as somebody who plays him a lot in ARAM, and I think, you know, Steiner playing champs like Nasus and stuff, you can understand this too, is being allowed to touch the wave whenever I want to charge up. Hang on, though. A lot of damage from Starvald. That fully stacked press the attack. It's a little extra damage, but the Bone Saw! Oh, no! Ghost is available, but no flash for Crossblade. Maybe Starvald extended that a bit longer than he wanted.
Did I see a Call the Meek used? I feel like he's saving it for next tournament.
Could be.
Where is Crossblade going?
Okay, he's back. Well, he did burn the ghost.
He was looking for the jungler.
Yeah, he's warding.
Going to... I tell you what, from playing in these, it's hard to get it out of your head to not go ward sometimes.
Yeah. Bramble Vest picked up for Crossblade, who's going to teleport right back in to catch a wave of a decent size. Starvald going for a pair of longswords and a refillable potion. Has the Project Renekton, but neglects to turn on the helmet always on, which personally I feel is an absolute necessity. So a little bit of a disadvantage for him there, but we'll see if it works out.
He does have first 6, though.
He does. I feel like it doesn't do a lot in this matchup, though, unless he gets all in. Like, I don't know. Starvald looking for that Dominus. We'll see how far he is away from it. Oh, about one more minion will do it.
I mean, looking at the CS differential and the way the wave is right now, it's gonna have to be an all-in, really, which Mundo is fine with because he can just walk away.
Yeah, and the Bramble
Well, if Crossblade just plays back and farms up, he can win this just through farm pretty easily.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the Bramble Vest, I think, as well, is going to help with that. I mean, it's not as if Starvald cannot auto him. $16 CS, now the advantage, and you can see Starvald kind of trying to figure out what sort of angle he even has here. Now, he is up one game already, so he can afford to lose and go to game 3, but... well, it looked like he was trading well early on. Now, the CS advantage and that last very extended trade we saw kind of went against him. Like a combination of minion aggro and Crossblade just kind of kiting things out. Fleet footwork helping him sustain a little bit better, too. Dodges the cleaver there. Or the bone saw, excuse me. There's the Call to Meek for you. Ooh. I've been there. Press W, and then you're too far away to hit somebody and just have to stun a minion. Oof. threaded the needle on that bone saw there.
Mundo does have his Elixir of Force now, which will give him an extra 12 AD for 60 seconds. And once he hits 9, he gets that Elixir of Skill, which is just the extra skill point really can make a difference.
Yeah. That's a great point, especially I think in these kind of 1v1 settings. I mean, it's huge. Starvold trying to figure out what he wants to do with the wave here.
Unfortunately, he doesn't see that Mundo was backing, or else he probably really should have hard shoved right there and backed himself.
Well, he does it now, but again, both players going to have to walk all the way back to lane. Full sums for Starvold. Ghost back up for Crossblade now. 10 CS difference is going to only increase. And a pair of plated steel caps that have been the boots of the day in this AESIR 1v1. Crossblades partaken, and so has Starvold. It's interesting into Mundo. I mean, I think it makes sense, but I mean, the bone saw does magic damage, if I'm not mistaken. I know the
Yeah, so does his E or his W, which is the magic thing around him. But Mundo is very mixed damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably thinking it wouldn't be a lot of value out of my treads since he has no CC.
Yeah. Very true.
I would have said maybe go Tiamat for the push and farm advantage, but I think he's just so far behind that I wouldn't really make that much of a. Oh,
Ooh, there's the Ruthless Predator. Starvold looking for the all-in. Has the Ignite down, but Crossblade just waltzes out and lands a bone saw. A bit of a goodbye there. And gonna go for a recall here. Still doesn't have the teleport up, but is up 14 CS and really can afford to just hang out. Okay, he's gonna stay. I mean, at this point, Starvold, he's going for the tower dive, takes a turret shot. He's really got to be careful. I mean, the pressure is absolutely on at this point. 17 CS and Crossblade has a victory. Starvold needs the all-in. But there's just no angle. You can see Star, he doesn't want to recall here. As long as Crossblade doesn't. But if Crossblade does, then he has that opportunity at least. And that teleport is
he's
so
just
close.
shove it in hard.
Yeah. The teleport is so close for Crossblade, too. Doesn't have such a
The
CS
problem
advantage.
is Crossblade needs to catch what, 2 waves, and how can Starvold fight him now? Half HP down.
Yeah. I mean, the Dominus helps a bit, but...
Power right here.
Oh, no, this is not good. Crossblade's going to chase him down, has the Ghost burned, is going for the Bone Saws, should land another one, no problem. Ruthless Predator, a little bit more from Crossblade, should finish off the Renekton's got to land this Bone Saw, he doesn't. Looking for another one, Starvold's got to have the fancy feet, and he does have the Slice and Dice to get him away, but, I mean, for what purpose? It leaves him 11 CS from defeat. Make that 10, and ooh. One more will finish him off. Starvold, I think, at this point. Ah, there it is. First blood. Bone saw to the face means X Crossblade equals things 1-1, and we're headed to game 3.
I knew I should have trained him in some Mundo dodgeball.
You should have. I see everyone in the practice tools, you know, before the tournament. Mundo dodgeball, best practice of all time. Who knew?
Looking at the round 3 bans, do see the Mundo ban coming down now.
I'm surprised. I mean, I guess we have to. I mean, I definitely kind of doubted the Mundo. I thought, what is this going to do? But he just kind of hung out, landed a lot of bone saws, and just won. So, there you go.
Do we see the Kled come back in then?
I'd be surprised for it not to come in, just considering how many times he's picked it. But I don't fully know the breadth of X Crossblade's champion pool. Let's get a bracket.
Looking at his mastery, his second highest mastery is Kled. His highest by far is Sivir.
Interesting. I don't know about Sivir for a 1v1, but maybe.
That's Sivir, Kled, and then Volibear.
Huh. I feel like
Volibear can be a surprising 1v1 champion just because how much sustain he surprisingly has, in addition to his passive and how much damage that can do over time just from the lightning crossing through minions and stuff.
yeah. That would be interesting to see. I want to say we've seen 1 or 2 volley bears in the past tournaments, but I can't fully remember. We've seen a lot of champs.
Now, the Jarvan from Starvault isn't banned this time. Do we see that come back maybe?
It wasn't banned in round 2 either, and he still didn't go for it, so I don't know, but maybe you're right. With all the chips on the line here in game 3, he does. Still the same 80
It looks
carries.
like they're
But
getting in the game now. I'm seeing Crossblade is playing Skarner, and Starvault is on Jace.
Skarner versus Jay. Well, the way these ranged matchups have tended to go, or rather ranged versus melee, I feel like I have to favor the Jace, but I don't know. A lot of Jace's.
It's all going to depend on Jace's E timing with the Skarner charging in. If he can hit him every time he tries to charge in on him, I think he should be fine.
Yeah. It's kind of tricky with Jace because, I mean, he does have to go to hammer form all in, or else the champion. We've all played against the Jace, or with the Jaces in ARAM. It's always on our teams, right? Who just stay in the ranged form the entire game and just are afraid to go in, even though he does a colossal amount of damage if he switched to hammer form. So I think
It's the same thing with Nidalee.
yeah, exactly. So I think you kind of have to do that, but it's kind of exactly what Skarner wants.
I mean, if as long as Starvold can E him as he's charging in and then engage with the melee, I think it'll be good.
Makes
Because I
sense.
believe that knockback cancels Skarner's charge.
Oh, okay. I have to time it well because the charge is really fast. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, the point in between him charging and you being in range to swat him away could be difficult.
Yeah. Well, a little over a minute away here from match point game number 3 between Starvold and X Crossblade. A ticket to the 9th AESIR 1v1 finals, which will be a best of 5, is on the line. We've seen everything from Mundo versus Renekton to, I can't even remember what the first game was. Was that Varus Urgot? Nope, that was Xanders and Fomocry. I can't even remember now. What was Starvold versus Crossblade's first game?
Ashclad?
Ashclad. That's right, Ashclad. Well, again, we're seeing 2 brand new champions for this series anyway. In the Jace versus the Skarner. Jace was.
It is nice being able to see the variation compared to doing based on the region.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the region thing in theory, but I feel like it's maybe something, and this actually would be hard to do as well, but that would be better to for a 2v2, a 3v3, or 5v5, just because then you have to pick some of these champions. Whereas the 1v1, it feels like this meta develops where there's probably even more likely just one champ that everyone just picks. So it just turns into just the mirror tournament, and it can be a little bit interesting, but it tends to get old a bit fast. So I'm totally with you with the variation being really nice to have.
You don't like seeing Callista versus Callista over and over again?
Not particularly, no. All right. Welcome to the Rift for... Wow, that's a little obnoxious. The Jace jumping around with that Battle Academia. I believe that is skin. And boy, every time I see him, Skarner is just gigantic. It's ridiculous.
Going for the Arcane Comet as well with this poke from his Q, which I feel like his Q is kind of way overtuned with doing max health physical damage as well.
Yeah.
He's perhaps every part of the champion.
It could be that he has a 53% win rate in every single role right now. It's possible he is a little bit strong. Oh, I got scared for a moment there. I thought my client had frozen, but we're just hanging out here as we crest towards 1 minute. Doran's Ring for Crossblade Skarner and Arcane Comet. So you guys mentioned the Jarvan. This is kind of the Jarvan build that Starvold likes to bring out, but on the Scorpion this time.
I feel like the Doran's Ring is a little bit of cooking. I feel like Doran's Shield could have been better useful against Jace.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I don't know Skarner's mana problems, but it could be one reason why. One reason why.
So I'm used to ARAM with the level 3 start where you can just EQ straight away and jump in full kit. But Starvold really is just sitting there.
With the Mexican standoff here.
Yeah. Ah, I missed one.
Don't you...
He missed another. Level 2 for both players now, but I don't want to say necessarily a typical top lane matchup. I mean, I guess maybe. I don't fully know exactly how new Skarner's going to settle in. I mean, obviously he's playable everywhere at the moment, but when things settle down, when we finish the customary 3 patches of new champion being broken before we actually do anything about it, we'll see. Starvold going for a bit of cooking himself. Has got some biscuits, potions galore in his inventory there.
He brought lunch along with him.
The apothecary build. Starvold goes to the skies, but it's Crossblade getting the better end of that trade.
Oh.
Those rocks hurt.
And the shield is really just putting Starbound at a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where I find when I play Jace, you know, when you get to that eclipse point, it feels so much better to go in for trades because the shield just makes a huge difference. So not having that versus Crossblade's innate one definitely stinks. Yeah, I wasn't sure about the poke, but these rocks in the Comet, that stings.
Very funny of you.
It was actually unintentional, but oh man, Crossblade going in, the suppression, and he's just holding his ground. Starvold?
Aced.
He just
I don't
stuck
understand
around.
what happened there.
I have no
Sorry.
idea.
Has disconnected.
The pun.
Wait, I saw Starvold put up his gate. Did he somehow get stunned off the gate?
I don't know.
That can't be. I have no idea. Stunlocked by the terrible unintentional pun, maybe, but X Crossblade 2-1 will be headed to the grand finals of the 9th AESIR 1v1. It was a pretty quick game number 3. Skarner, Jace, but he's booked his ticket. We'll get the bracket up on everybody's screen here. Okay, so we will await then the winner of Cheese Ow versus Fomocry, which hopefully should be starting pretty soon. Well, we speculated about Crossblade being a bit of a Kled one-trick, and we couldn't have been more wrong. We've seen now the Mundo, we have seen the Skarner, we could see the Sivir, probably not, but he's got that in his back pocket maybe. Definitely some flexibility.
For sure.
We'll have to see what comes up in the upcoming matches, because the person against Fomacry, Cheese OW, he had some complaints apparently about his champion picks. Was asked to stub his toe twice on the same day.
I did hear that. Did I see correctly that there was a Fiddlesticks picked?
It sounds like, yeah, fiddle diff.
I would love to see that because I have no idea how that would actually work, but I guess if you don't have CC to interrupt Fiddle, he could just stand there with the, just life.
Unfortunately, it appears the fiddle was banned, although I don't know if Cheese is really banning for any reason, because he banned Yumi, Soraka, and Lulu. A bit
Okay.
of for fun.
Maybe. I mean, I appreciate the Yumi ban, even if it's only symbolic, but
Maybe he thought it was a Nemesis draft, and he didn't want those drafted for him.
I see. Makes sense. That reminds me, unrelated, but I did hear that I think LPL is considering or has settled on a fearless draft for, I want to say, next split, which sounds really interesting.
Was that LPL? I thought that was LCK.
It could be. I was pretty sure it was LPL.
But I don't know. I feel like somebody, one of the normal Oh, it was LPL. One of the normal casters tweeted about it. I feel like he's kind of right, where like I'm a big fan of that style of Fearless, but I don't think I'm a big fan of Fearless in the highest levels of competitive play. Like, I think Fearless being the staple for Challenger and tier 2, what is that called again?
Challenger Academy.
Academies. I think it's really good for academies, but it being like staple for like just normal LPL, LCS, like that should never happen.
Looking at the upcoming match, it appears we have Fomacry on the Callista with Exhaust, Barrier, Lethal Tempo, and
boy.
Cheese with Karma, Flash, Ignite, and Summon Airy.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, no fiddlesticks, but we have seen Fomacry's Callista before. I don't know that it's ever
Fortunately,
lost
the
a game.
fiddle was banned.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But I don't know that Fomacry has ever lost a game on Callista that I can recall.
It's crazy because you don't think of Callista as like a big 1v1 champion, but if you can pilot her well with her dashing, it can be quite annoying.
It's disgusting. I mean, I remember when there was that Callista top meta period, and it was absolutely like, who cares if we don't have somebody to Black Spear in the lane all the time? Just Black Spear the jungler, don't even need a W, don't put any points into W, just QE, don't even need an ult. 2 abilities, and just stomping everything banned all the time. I mean, I love Callista, but it's definitely hard to pilot. I mean, I think the biggest thing is the nerf wherein the attack move, if you use attack move for the kiting with Callista, her attack speed goes down. So it's kind of like, do you want to just attack move because you're not good enough, like me? Or do you want to just say, I'm going to right click, and if I misclick, then I'm also driving down my potential damage because then I have to click again before the champion actually attacks.
Well, I know somebody recently playing in Arena, they just stood still, actually. The highest DPS they could get.
On Callista?
You would be proud of Foldbather.
You would be proud.
I mean, I will do that if there's a situation where, like, there's just, you don't want to have any errors and there wouldn't be any penalty for standing still. I will do that on a champ like Callista because there is the attack speed cap as well for when you're jumping, which you don't hit if you're just standing still. So it's, obviously I didn't see exactly what Fold did, but it is true that you can stand still and auto attack faster on Callista if you have enough attack speed. And if there's a situation where you don't need to jump.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Here we go, though. Fomacry is going to go right in and start stacking up that lethal tempo, get some spears. We assume he has the Ren first, and he will go ahead and use it. And, oh, my apologies. Let's make sure we actually have the game on everyone's screen.
Fomacry going for that early bush control, going with the sweeper instead of a ward himself.
Interesting.
Minions have spawned.
Full Mother says, yes, I was standing still when good. Good.
It did work out the one time he really stood still, so it was okay. Although we then faced a unkillable Zac.
Oh. Callista against Zac. I don't know that there's a more horrifying champion to face as Callista.
The Zac 1v2'd the game. The Syndra was irrelevant on his team.
Yeah.
I really hate Zac. Champion is so frustrating.
Yeah, remember when we had a 5v5 team and we had a 0% win rate into Zac?
Yes. Omicry letting the minion slide here, but positioning very aggressively.
Was going for that early. He's about to hit level 2 off that minion right there. There we go. This is what I was discussing with his spacing. He's really good at it and planning around when he gets that level 2.
We have seen Fomocry lose games, but scarcely ever lose a series, and certainly not on the Callista. He has his work cut out for him.
I feel like Karma can do it with her sustain off her W.
Yeah.
I feel like the CSing ease of Callista makes this impossible, though, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, there's a nice pierce there from Fomocry. It's definitely one of the things that really makes a difference on Callista is if you can just line up a good pierce. I mean, it's kind of like the advanced version of a good double up there from Misfortune. Here we go, Ignite and Exhaust traded, looking for a few more spears for the Rend. Needed one more, though, I think, from Fomocry. Oh, the pierce, though, is true. Fomocry up 1-0 in the semifinals.
Looking at Ban's game 2, Cheese did do some adjustment. He banned Callista, Yuumi, and Raka now.
Okay.
Okay. Sticking with the Yuumi and Soraka bans, though. Those very fearsome in the 1v1.
We gotta watch out to see if Fomocry picks Lulu now.
I mean, well, unfortunately, I've now seen what he's picked. So I talked up the Caitlyn a lot this game. Spoiler, Fomocry has locked it in here for game 2.
And let me see if I can see what Cheese has. Cheese is on Zillion with Barrier, Exhaust, Summon Airy.
Okay.
And Fomocry is also Barrier, Exhaust with Lethal Tempo.
Okay. The Zillion.
You don't sound too confident in the Zillion pick.
I can't
Well-
say I am super confident in it.
The slowdown with the hop is actually crazy, okay.
Well, banned Callista had locked in Zillion, so
It makes me wonder because in round 1, Cheese's picks were Fiddle and Pantheon. And now all of a sudden he's picking heavy support champions.
it is interesting. Fomocry banning the Pantheon and the Fiddle, so I mean Fomocry respecting the potential for those.
Perhaps he's used to Overwatch and his name is Cheese Overwatch, where Mora does more DPS as a healer than any DPS you could ever pick.
Yeah.
Play Overwatch some more. I haven't played it in a long time.
I tried Overwatch too. It wasn't the greatest. I don't know.
I was a soldier main.
I was a Zarya Zenyatta 2-trick. I think his name was Zenyatta.
I've never played a single game of Overwatch.
Soldier and Roadhog.
Roadhog.
What about Winston?
Nobody played Winston ever.
I'm pretty sure Donkey did.
That's the only time I think I've ever seen Winston in that game. Very unlike champion, I feel.
I believe XQC was a Winston main in like professional.
No, he doesn't exist.
45 seconds away from Fomocry versus Crystal Scar and aka Cheese OW. And the semifinals, Fomocry with a fairly straightforward win on the Callista against Cheese's Karma in Game 1. This time around, we've already confirmed Fomocry piloting the Caitlyn against Cheese's Zillion with, I believe, Ulf, you said basically the same setup in terms of runes and masteries as the Karma. Airy again, right?
Airy, yeah, with exhaust barrier instead of flash ignite this time.
Foldmather says his brother's dog is named Winston for the Overwatch character. So there's at least one other Winston.
Old Mather, are we doing a 2v2v2v2v2v2v2 tournament at some point?
Was that the right number of twos?
Somewhere around that.
Rounded down, yeah. That was a correct number.
Here we go. We're in the rift for game number 2 of this semifinal series between Fomocry and Cheese OW, aka Crystal Skarn. Zillion, he's got the dance moves already, corrupting pot start. Fomocry on his way to lane with the exhaust barrier lethal tempo. Caitlyn, after the Callista with which he triumphed in game 1, was banned away.
Welcome to
I could see the arena tournament being fun, but the only issue I would have with it is there's so much variance in what you get for random things. I could see some people getting salty.
Yeah,
30 seconds
I get
until
salty in it
minions
for
spawn.
sure. Half the time, somebody just gets the perfect couple of augments, or the Pike or the Jhin or whatever decides to pick a particular team to win, and it's GG.
Omicron is going with the sweeper again to try to have brush control.
Well, Cheese is content to just dance for
Minions
now,
have spawned.
whereas Fomocry is running back and forth in the bush, trying to strategize. How would it be a tournament? Asks Full. Just play one arena game and that's the tournament. It would be kind of cool if you actually got all the same people and just played like a best of 3 or a best of 5 or something. Because then you'd kind of eliminate the variance.
And do like a combo of average win placement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually sounds pretty fun. I mean, that would kind of mitigate some of the salt, because it's like, okay, if we play 3 or 4 or whatever games, then, I mean, yeah, maybe RNG still gets you, but probably...
Well,
Okay,
think the
Toss
problem-
already down there on the Cheese. It traded back onto the Caitlyn. Cheese just sitting here taking autos from the Caitlyn. Barrier goes down. Trades
he's not
back.
taking autos. He's trading them.
Yeah, better than I thought for the Zillion, but here's a level 2.
Boom.
I don't know if that's exactly what you wanted to do.
Especially with Caitlyn having that lethal tempo stacking up.
Yeah. I mean, this is not the, you know, the crazy AD carry Zillion. Ooh! Steps on the well-placed Yordle Snap Trap there from Fomocry. Takes a Piltover Peacemaker to the face. And again, Fomocry looking to be in a strong position early on in this one. Needs one win, and he's headed back to the finals for who even knows, the 7th time? I mean, I believe in the upset, but it's a rough start already. Oof. Yet to find a bomb that actually landed on Fomocry, unfortunately for Cheese.
There was one under the tower, but it didn't do much damage.
Okay.
And that's one thing with Caitlyn, though, is she's great at area denial. Like, she can deny that whole area behind the turret there with her trap, and you can't even see them.
Yeah. Placement's been good from Fomocry, and she is continuing to just take a lot of poke damage here. No teleport for either player, but barrier is still available for Fomocry, who has built up a sizable creep advantage already, 23-9, and counting. And again, we have some Potion Masters here in our tournament, as Zillion has gone for... I don't even know what that rune is called, to tell you the truth. Bunch of potions. Bunch of elixirs. Cheese will not go hungry, at least in this game. We can say that much for sure. But is still...
It is triple tonic.
Triple tonic. I like that. Well, no, Time Warp tonic was the name of the old one, so kind of similar. Cheese.
The wave is pushing in Fomakrai's favor now, so he's going to be able to catch that wave pretty easily.
Yep. Everything going his way so far. Have to see if Cheese...
Interesting going the coal, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I mean, he's never going to fully stack it, so I guess he just likes maybe a little bit of AD. I mean, you can't buy 2 Doran's Blades anymore, so maybe that's kind of what he was thinking, is he just had enough gold for that. I'm kind of surprised he wouldn't go 2 Longswords, though, considering he had the dagger and enough gold for a coal. Definitely could have gone 2 Longswords in a pod or something like that, but cooking a
I
little
at least
bit.
feel like dagger longsword would have just been better, because
Yeah.
the dagger's nice for helping stack up that lethal tempo quicker.
Yeah. Well, resets for both players, but already Fomakrai once again trading a little bit stronger. Amp Tome here for Cheese, who speeds his way out of there and has plenty of potions, elixirs, and biscuits to keep himself a little healthy, but oof, another headshot. Can't tank that many of those.
In my sights.
Oof.
Exemplary.
Ace in the hole just for poke, and it does exactly that. Cheese in a rough spot here. I mean, as long as he can with this CS advantage, I wonder if he just wants to reset or at least get some XP, maybe hit level 6 and then reset. And it is a tough position.
Pay no attention to the trap.
Fomakrai walking forward, getting slowed, still does not take a turret shot, looking for the Peacemaker, finds it. He's figuring that with those bombs there, Fomakrai would have no choice but to tank him, but he just walks right up. There's one landed. He's just going to need a few more of those, but with the Imp Tome and the Corrupting Pot, the damage is not bad from the Zillion, I will say.
Fomakrai is getting a back off, though, with a fairly sizable CS advantage. And on a cannon wave, so it's just going to be stuck there in the middle. That Vamp Scepter is going to help him sustain a good bit, too.
Ugh. Feels like that might be the last nail in the coffin here. 58 to 25. The farm difference, the Vamp Scepter, even the Coal gives you a little bit of life. And the Doran's Blade, I mean, that's just about 10% lifesteal. Plus, has the Coal. We'll see if he has the... which legend rune he's got here. Alacrity, so go for the attack speed there.
Zillion does have the Hextech Alternator, which does help with a little bit of burst, though.
Yeah. We'll see if he can find the double bomb. Does not have the slowdown, speeds himself up to get in here. There's the exhaust thrown down the Yordle snap trap. Cheese has no flash to get out of here. He's trying to find a way around the traps. He does maneuver his way back to turret with so many autos. There's the net. Oh, and a well-placed ultimate there from Cheese keeps him alive. And now the ace in the hole gets him all the way back down to half HP. So the all-in goes in Fomakrai's favor. And now, look how much lifesteal. Absolutely ridiculous.
I really feel like Cheese needs to, instead of speed himself up, slow down the Caitlyn to land those bombs.
Yeah. You got to find a double bomb or you're never going to do it. Oh, it almost got him to take a turret shot there, but not quite. Ah, and all these Peacemakers are landing from Fomakrai as well. 68 to 29. Any hope of a keeping up and creep score is long gone now for Cheese OW. He's going to look for a reset, but in Fomakrai's vision, he can just throw out a Peacemaker. Okay, maybe not in his vision. So gets
I
that
don't
back
think
off.
Fomakrai cares. He's just focused on the farm right now.
True, very true. 24 more and Fomakrai's in the finals.
Fomakrai can just hard shove this wave back, have a free reset.
The Dark Seal buy here from Cheese. Again, something I respect, but you're paying money As with the Cole, I suppose. The double Vamp Scepter. Oh, boy. Yeah. I mean, I don't like to say it, but I think the bracket can probably be filled in at this point. We're all going to wait and see if Cheese can find some absolute miracle here, but 80 to 32 in creeps.
Steady.
It's going to be tough. Wow. I
I
didn't even
never
think Ace in the
miss.
Hole had that much range. Even with the zoom out, we can't even see it. Barrier up for Foamacry. Will be up in about 30 or 40 for Cheese here. Finds the double bomb.
That did almost no damage.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to heal up half of that damage with double Vamp Scepter and the rest of his stuff. Okay. Finds another bomb. I mean, the damage is there, but oh no. I think Cheese. Oh, the Caliber Net trying to get him into range. Foamacry looking for the Peacemaker. Will not find it. But Cheese is so low now, and only 13 CFs now for Foamacry, who has his choice of how he'd like to win this game, I think. Peacemaker does land, just needs maybe an auto. Ace in the Hole will be up in maybe 30. Barrier up now for Cheese in about 5 seconds, and he's... yeah, just waiting for this wave.
Foamacry just needs to catch the wave and he's fine. Yeah, he's just going to walk past the turn, I assume.
1 or 2 autos here. Okay. Oh, that is unfortunate. And the question mark thing from Cheese to himself. Types a G. One more auto will do it. GG's come out. Foamacry 2-0 is headed back to the finals once again. And that will solidify our finals bracket with X Crossblade versus Foamacry. 2 familiar faces matching up in a best-of-5 series to decide the 9th AESIR 1v1 champion. Thoughts on that game and or series and the upcoming series, guys?
I mean, honestly, it's just Kate. Kate is just so oppressive because she has just such a long range right at the start, and her area denial is just crazy. You really either need to try to match her with something that's going to try to get on her and burst her out, or just ban it, really, to be honest.
I would not be surprised at all to see a Kate ban. Or Callista ban, but at some point, I think you really need a Foamacry ban if you want to beat him. We'll see.
One thing that could be picked more, in my opinion, is actually Draven. Draven is pretty good at that all-in potential.
Yeah, that is a good point. We saw Draven earlier. I'm trying to remember. Was that
Starbolt.
that was Starvold? Okay.
Draven is a classic counter to Callista in pro play, as far as I know.
Well, we'll see if Crossblade plays the Sivir, so definitely does venture into 80 carry territory, but I am curious if the Draven is something. I mean, that's really something a lot of people play, you know, a handful of 80 carries, but it feels like Draven, Callista, or some of those a bit further out, where a lot of people are like, I play 80 carry, but I can't play Draven. I can't play Callista. Well, we're waiting right now for those lobbies to get put together. We're going to go to a quick break. We will be back momentarily with coverage of the finals of the 9th AESIR 1v1, X Crossblade versus reigning champion Foamacry. You don't want to miss it. See you soon. And we are back! Welcome back, everyone, to our coverage of the 9th AESIR 1v1. I'm Besborger, joined by Ulf Waldensteiner, here to cover the championship, the finals, the best of 5 between Foamcry and X Crossblade. Foamcry already with a wealth of AESIR 1v1 trophies, looking to get one more on his trademark Callista. X Crossblade once again bringing out the Mundo, but could struggle matched up against a ranged champion, particularly one like Foamcry, who knows out of space so well.
I just don't see this being a good matchup for the Mundo. I mean, a huge part of his kit is that defected Bone Cleaver, and if he misses it, then what's he gonna do? He's got to run away, or because he won't be able to catch the Callista without hitting it.
Yeah. Has the Ghost, I guess, so maybe between the slow from the Cleaver, or excuse me, the Bone Saw, and if he lands him, maybe, but
I think there's going to have to be some good predictive Bone Saw throwing to hit the Callista as she does a jump.
yep.
Checking the bush to see if the jungler's there too.
Pinky stepped a pinky toe in the river.
Ban him.
I know somebody else that did that. Somebody who is proxying
No.
behind the turret a little bit.
No need for name call. Okay? No need for finger pointing.
Yeah.
You had yourself in a bit of a situation there.
I was actually fine there.
Big situation. They don't give you top. Well, let us hope Crossblade here to stand a chance against who is undoubtedly the favored Foamcry. Hopefully he does not have a mouse from Edward at Best Buy. He will need a functioning one today.
Edward was getting the shade for no reason.
Edward?
Yep.
He's just doing his job. It's unfortunate. He didn't make the mouse. What do you want him to do? Foamcry marching a substantial wave here under the turret. Getting some Wrens out, Crossblade. Again with the Build-A-Bear, Potion Shop, whatever you want to call it, from Boris there, along with the Door and Shield. But still taking a fair bit of poke damage.
I don't know about minion dematerializer. I just feel like you just don't get enough benefit of it over time. Especially into something like Callista, where she can not only farm but poke you down the whole time. But I guess you don't know the champion going into the match, so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can let you grab a couple of cannons or whatever, but it does almost feel like something you take in a, in a regular Summoner's Rift game with the thought that as long as I can get a few minions, I'll be stronger later. But these 1v1s, it's like getting a few minions early on is not going to matter. You're not going to get to late game. You're not going to scale.
Well, the usual thought process behind even taking it is to kill minions easier. Like I know a lot of mages that take it because it lets them one-shot backline in an easier threshold.
Lista landing these Q and Rend combos. What's the name for Q?
Pierce.
Pierce and Rend combo. It's doing some damage.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember her W. I know her ult is Fate's Call. Oh, look at the poke damage, though. Another Rend is going to come out. Ah.
Sentinel.
Crossblade. Is it just Sentinel? I knew it was like, I thought it was like...
Just Sentinel.
Wow, okay. I was thinking, are all of Callista's basic abilities one word? And they are. A simpler time.
Huh, I never noticed that. Oh, no. Well, yeah, I mean, her passive and her ult aren't, but... Yeah, the QWE are.
They probably also only consist of like 2 sentences. Truly simpler time.
Need a rework. Get enough Elios's level.
Yeah, probably needs a few borrowed abilities with extra bells and whistles.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think they should make her ult pull her entire team and just throw them all in a giant
Oh! The Riot favorite, just adding multiple ults.
Or just another one. Make it so... Oh, man! We're over here talking about the ultimate. Foamcry not even hitting level 6! With the Pierce and the Ren, finishes off the Dr. Mundo. Wow.
A summoner has disconnected.
That was kind of a sneaky Pierce, I feel.
It was, yeah. I mean, Fomocry is good about those. I mean, he did the same thing against Cheese, where he just kind of throws a Pierce as kind of a farewell Pierce, and it finishes him off.
We do see Crossblade banning Callista game 2 now instead of the Vayne. And
Okay.
Fomocry remained the same bans.
I mean, does Fomocry just go to the Caitlyn then? I mean, if it ain't broke.
Looking, he did go Caitlyn, but we do have something new from Crossblade here.
Oh,
I talked earlier about what his highest mastery was. He did, in fact, pick the Sivir.
wow. So Sivir Caitlyn. Okay.
Interesting.
I don't completely hate it. I mean, the spell shield interactions are decent, but I just don't know. I mean, you can hard shove the wave as Sivir, but you're actually quite short ranged. I really don't know that I like that just because of how Fomocry can space with the Caitlyn and the lifesteal. I think it's gonna be rough.
Honestly, I'm thinking about that matchup as pretty Sivir favored.
Really?
You just have free health packs on the ground if Kate ever puts down a trap. You will never get a caliber netted.
I mean, yeah, but the cooldown is pretty long, and you can only stop one thing. So if you step on the trap and spell shield, then you can get 90 caliber netted, or if you spell shield the ace in the hole, then you're going to get hit by everything else. You can only do one thing. I mean, it's not terrible, but it doesn't really negate the whole combo. And I think just with the range difference is going to feel pretty bad because Fomocry can just throw a lot of those autos in from totally out of Sivir's range. And I have no doubt Fomocry is going to dodge the Sivir Qs as well. Is that just called Boomerang Blade, I think? But I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. I'm hoping that we'll see a longer series of the Sivir, something that X Crossblade has a lot of experience with. I mean, the name fits, the Crossblade, that he can find a way to make it work. But I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting looking at runes and masteries here. Sivir with Ghost, Exhaust, and Summon Airy. Caitlyn with Exhaust Barrier, Lethal Tempo again.
I mean, Seminary for the Ricochet Blade sounds interesting.
Yeah, the poke. I mean, there was a time when we had the Dusk Blade, Muramana Sivir, and it was nasty. And a lot of people, years later, still think that that's what you're supposed to build. Hello, my ARAM teammates, but maybe he'll try to bring it back.
Guy just flaming his ARAM 2 miss throughout the whole stream.
You kind of just blew my mind. I didn't think X Crossblade was for Sivir. I thought it was a Kingdom Hearts reference. I thought he was like, maybe, I don't know.
862,000 mastery on the Sivir here for X Crossblade. As we prepare to load into the Rift, and I hope we do not get another error that crashes my client. The loading time is getting suspiciously long here, but we hold out hope.
Another media not able to be downloaded.
Yes. For my mod that allows me to zoom out.
When did they add that? I swear. I thought you needed a tool for that.
No, it's been there for quite a long time, but I don't know how long. I know at least a few years.
I don't know.
If it comes down to it, I'm able to get in, so.
Okay. Well, it might be doomed. I mean, usually it happens and then... Oh, there it is. Okay. Bear with us here, stream. We'll get back. Come on, League of Legends. Here we go. All right. Game number 2 matchup between Fomocry and X Crossblade here in the 9th AESIR 1v1 finals. Caitlyn versus Sivir.
Back off. As expected.
And certainly somebody with the name Crossblade, with 800,000 plus mastery on Sivir, you can see more than able to utilize that spell shield effectively. Could make all the difference. I like that Sivir skin, actually. I didn't see which one that was.
Odyssey.
Ah, okay. I'm like, there's no way that's like the Beastmaster or whatever Sivir, because that one, the newer one, that looks so bad. That was definitely a throwaway. They're like, we need one more Sivir. Okay, I didn't even make any art for it. It's fine.
I actually just did a reroll on some skin shards and got the Beastmaster ribbon.
Oh, any good?
It looks okay.
No. Some of the ribbon skins are amazing, and some of them are just very ugly. Okay.
These trading patterns, I've seen Crossblade do some real good spell shields, but the mana is a problem. It's kind of a bummer for Sivir that doesn't restore mana anymore.
Oh, and we're not on the stream. Thank you, Full Mather, and apologies, viewers. Should be fixed momentarily. There we are. Sorry about
See,
that.
that's what Steiner was talking about, or what you were talking about. He was able to pick up that little health pack, but Fulmacry expected it and immediately dropped a Q on top of her too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's nice if there's like one ability that makes a huge difference. Like, you know, if you can dodge the Jinx Zapper and then just spell shield the Chompers, that's an interaction that feels pretty good. But Caitlyn just has so much range and so many different things that you kind of got to pick your poison. I mean, you totally got to pick your poison when it comes to Caitlyn, but I'll totally admit it. I mean, Crossblade's doing a lot better than I thought. I mean, down a couple of minions here, but this is looking much better than game one. Homacry with a pair of long swords. Meanwhile, Crossblade opts for a Kerchase Shard and a pair of refillable potions. I am curious. I mean, the Ghost is something that Crossblade went for. I wonder if that's not something that's maybe... I don't know. I could see it being good, but it almost feels better against a melee champ just because you can kite despite Sivir's somewhat limited range. That kind of helps it a bit. I wonder if we will see the barrier, the extra defensive spell, making a difference versus Crossblade only having the exhaust.
You.
Both players headed for level 6 here in a few minions. Actually, Homacry very close. Crossblade, once he picks up this wave, should be just about level 6. The ricochets, not exactly in his favor here, but okay. Okay, you get a lot more of those than I figured.
You can see Fulmacry back in each time on the cannon wave, because it's going to be harder to shove.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that Vamp Scepter, though, is going to allow him to sustain a lot easier. That, and he's not going to be able to use his ult to really poke out Sivir as much, as long as she still has her spell shield.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing, though. I mean, if Sivir burns his spell shield on the ace in the hole, yeah, that individual interaction is fantastic for Sivir. But then it basically opens up Fulmacry to just run straight at Sivir and throw everything at her. Fulmacry up about 10 CS once he picks some more of these up, I think. The edges of those boomerangs are doing some damage, but the Vamp Scepter, the Doran's Blade, keeping Fulmacry very healthy.
Yeah, I would say it's crazy. Crossblade is so comfortable with the range on his Q.
And you see there, as soon as the spell shield comes out for the Peacemaker, Ace in the Hole comes out.
I think it almost could be beneficial for Crossblade to go something with mana, maybe like a tier or something, just to keep his abilities going.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to play around the Q just with the difference in range. That's the one way you can sort of level the playing field a little bit. With that Sivir Q.
If he has presence of mind or
Check what he's got. Has the Mana Flow banned, but nope, went for Inspiration second, so no presence of mind, but Mana Flow needs 3 more procs to that to max that out. Just when it really starts working better for you. Crossblade really trading pretty well, but as you guys mentioned, a bit. That is not permitted, unfortunately. Going into the river there is against the rule.
I mean,
The river is lava. We'll see if we have any judges' decisions on that. But in the meantime, Foamcry is up about 20 CS. And once again, the old double vamp scepter comes through. Doing a little shopping here. Says dagger refill pot. Okay. So 25 more minions and Foamcry is up 2-0 here in the finals. And with that much lifesteal plus the pots, it's going to be really hard for Crossblade to find anything. He's going to have to find an all-in somehow. And it's going to be rough. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of damage. I mean, the Kirchi Shard is going to be a little bit on that first auto. But
really, he's using it mostly on minions.
oof.
In my sights.
That is unfortunate there because the spell shield was burned but did not block anything. Does not block the headshot auto. Then the ace in the hole comes out. Pots crossblade?
Oh,
Yeah, that's a DQ if I've ever seen one.
Yes, unfortunately.
Even if
that
he wins.
is not permitted. I don't know that Foamcry is going to lose this anyway, but yes, unfortunately that is all against the rules. Have to stay strictly in top lane, not top river. $12 more minions and Foamcry has victory regardless. And I think full HP with plenty of lifesteal to his name, he should not have a big problem with that. You can see the ricochets. I mean, even the damage from the Sivir just with this build is not huge. I mean, yeah, Crossblade's the one that needs to all in, but the exhaust comes out, and it's Foamcry, oh, and weaves the headshot in there, who's winning the extended trades anyway. And now 8 make that 7 more minions. And Foamcry's got the CS victory. Looking doomed here in game number 2 for Crossblade. Pick the trademark Sivir. The trades looked decent, but the end of the day, Foamcry is inevitable, whether by creep score or by trade and all in. Crossblade walks up, exhaust there, ace in the hole, finishes it off. Foamcry up 2-0 in the finals.
A summoner has disconnected.
Like that has been addressed in terms of going in the water. In addition, we do have bans already for game 3. Another adjustment, instead of Cassiopeia, we now have a Caitlyn ban. So Caitlyn Callista Ash from Crossblade.
We'll eventually just get through every champ that he picks, but he always has something else.
Could we might see the Varus again? I know he's played that quite a bit.
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah, could see Darius. Let me load it up and see what we got.
2 minutes away from hitting the rift for game 3 of the AESIR 1v1 number 9 finals. Best of 5, already 2 wins for Foamcry. 1 more, and he has yet another championship.
Like we got Crossblade on Irelia with Flash, Ignite, and Conqueror, and Foamcry with Vayne, Exhaust, Barrier, Loom Dumbo.
You know, as a Vayne player, I love to see it. Fomacry reigning champion locking in my favorite champ. I am excited to see how this one plays out. I'll try to be unbiased, but no promises.
If he can get the tumble out of Vayne and land his E on the Vayne with the stun, I feel like Irelia can definitely be favored in this matchup.
Definitely.
Very depending on the Vayne play, to be honest, but we've seen Fomacry play. I don't think he's going to make it easy. So
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, it's one of those situations where you're going to have a really hard time finding the condemn unless, or I mean, you can condemn, but what I mean is finding a condemn into the wall angle. It generally is not going to present itself with a champ like Aurelia, who's just going to be hiding in the wave the entire time. But if you can time it such that you make Aurelia burn her Q when you've got the mark on you, and then condemn, that can be pretty key interaction. But I'm not horrible enough to bring Vayne into top lane in quite a while, so I can't say I have a lot of experience with the Vayne versus Aurelia matchup. I've not seen a lot of Aurelia supports, Aurelia AD carries. I probably have seen one or two.
I bet you it's easier to condemn Aurelia at a Q than you might think if they're Aurelia-ing the wave.
Yeah, well, I think that the key is you don't want to burn the condemn when they still have the opportunity to queue onto. You want to make sure that they just have to walk at you. Although Aurelia's crazy passive movement speed helps that a little bit.
Well, the Q goes on cooldown if you do not arrive at the target you
yeah, I mean, if he could do it mid Q and Irelia doesn't get the kill on the minion and it doesn't get the reset.
yeah.
I mean, is that
it can
even possible? Condemn is a really slow traveling projectile.
That's fine. It's possible if you're Aurelia-ing the wave, is what I mean.
Okay,
I don't think it's something we'll actually really see though.
Okay.
That a new verb, Irelia-ing the wave.
That everybody knows what that means. You hear that, you know exactly in your mind's eye what is happening.
Oh no. The long loading screen strikes again. Come on, Riot. I don't understand.
Change it to mastery again. That might fix it.
No.
And you just wanted to see the mastery.
Well, it's not on the stream. Oh, you can see. I forgot. You guys can see the client, but not what I'm actually streaming. I'm like, how can you guys even see what I'm doing?
Voodoo.
I'm actually like.
He's actually standing behind you right now.
All right, come on, clients. Apologies to our viewers for the constantly misbehaving League of Legends client, but usually second time is always the charm on these. And we should hit the ref for game number 3 of the AESIR 1v1 finals. And we do! Fomacry on the Vayne versus Crossblades Aurelia, particularly these early levels. Assuming Fomacry spaces well, and he pretty much always does. It's going to be a major challenge. The exhaust there down onto the Aurelia. One more auto gets a Silver Bolt spot, and level 1 already. Crossblade having a horrible time.
And this is back timing is horrid for him too. That's such a massive wave to lose.
I would say one thing, Vayne not the greatest at pushing out.
No, horrible at it. It stinks. It's awful. But it can be done. Fomacry sticking around here. I mean, has that level advantage. I think I kind of like sticking around just for that, just because you can really oppress somebody down that much experience.
Oh, and Crossblade missed the cannon XP too. That's rough.
Cool.
Plus, he's not really down like any resources.
Did use the exhaust. Oh. Dodges the stun nicely there. Crossblade trying to do what he can to pick up some of these minions. Oh, man, but just takes a couple of bolts to the face. Oh, and gives him the stun!
No.
Fomocry, tumble should be up. Okay. That tumble cooldown a bit long early on. I really thought that'd be up. I think it was about to be up. Gets the flash at a crossblade. Very dangerous. Playing with fire here is the Aurelia.
2-level disadvantage is so rough.
Yeah,
Definitely kind of sad.
but okay. Hits level
He does
3 at
get
least.
that level up. That level up healing was gonna be huge. But I think Fomocry is probably just gonna back soon.
Yeah, I mean, even in this situation, you gotta respect the Aurelia all in a little bit. Crossblade stacking up the passive, looking for more. Fomocry, ignite there down onto the vein. The Condemn gets Aurelia away. And that will earn Fomocry a recall.
Oh,
Recurve.
Actually, not horrible back timing there because it's just gonna sit there for a little bit while the other minions die.
Yep.
going
Gotta
for
hope that
damage.
cannon doesn't get
Ah,
comboed. Oh,
down it goes. Recurve bow for Fomocry, matched by longsword. Refillable potion purchase for X Crossblade. CSing surprisingly well, considering he was forced to recall and was constantly getting poked down by the vein. But still down a
to be fair, Irelia is super easy to CS with.
Yeah. Oof, no stun found there. Fomocry happy to just stand his ground. Crossblade, again looking for more, but I think with the tumble, yeah, it just takes another silver bolt proc, not finding any of those abilities to land. Ooh, the stun actually lands though. Barrier burned by Fomocry. And there with the ward in the bush. I think Crossblade maybe a step too far here. He's trying to find it. The Condemn back. One more auto will do it.
Oh.
It was close, but Fomocry stands tall once again. 3-0, the champion once again.
Came down pretty close though there.
It was a lot closer than I thought. The all-in damage is still there regardless. It was there. There was an angle. But it was Fomocry triumphing in the end. Once again. Well, with that, I think we will go ahead and have to call it a night. Fomocry 3-0, champion of the 9th AESIR 1v1. Any parting closing thoughts, Ulfalder Steiner?
To be expected.
This guy is crazy. Shows up to collect his free RP and just that's it.
Yep, free LP, free RP. Regardless, Fomocry, again, the question remains, can anyone actually take him down? The answer has yet to present itself, if it even ever will. Congratulations to Fomocry, champion of the 9th AESIR 1v1. Thank you, Ulfalden Steiner, for casting alongside myself, Vesborger, and thank you to Foldmather for organizing and judging our tournament. Thank you to all of the players. Hopefully you had fun, and hopefully you'll be back for future tournaments. Check out our Discord server and our Battlefy page for any of those. Of course, make sure to subscribe, or at least follow. I don't think you can subscribe. At least follow our Twitch channel and social media. We will be keeping everyone updated on any future League of Legends events. Thank you to all the viewers. And with that, we will go ahead and say good night. See you next time.